How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews. Back with some Proclamation Brewing. Yeah, I haven't had anything from these guys in a while. Proclamation Ale Company, to be specific. This be their Stalk. It's double IPA. This is... It looks like it's a couple months old. 2 months old, give or take. And it's an 8.5% double IPA. It comes courtesy of my boy Steven. He came down for the old Beer Tuber Palooza. Now we dive in. I dig Proclamation, man. What I've had from them, from people sending me stuff to me picking my own stuff up, I've dug them quite a bit. So we'll see where this one kind of lands. I mean, something about the all green label on the double IPA always kind of gets you a little bit hyped up, making you think of all that green, that kind of, what do they call that? Power of suggestion, I guess that's what they call it. But yeah, it's a jungle. It says stock. What do you want? Beer-wise, pear juice. Looks like pear juice. That's what I'm calling it. So yeah, like a picky figure of uniform, pretty much uniform bubbles. There's some stragglers in there. Of just off white kind of head and this rich kind of pear / pineapple juicy kind of vibe to it. So it definitely looks part of a big old hazy nose. I lean like heavily pineapple on this one. Like a big pineapple, kind of leaning a little bit into a tropical fruit, leaning a little bit in that citrus, but letting that kind of pineapple kind of be the star of the show here. Not an overt sweetness, not an overt bittering. It really is kind of an under-ripened kind of pineapple tropical fruit is like the combination that's really kind of hitting home here for me. I kind of think I'm going to dig it. I don't think it's going to be overly sweet, but it's going to be enough sweetness to kind of let you know you're drinking something of a double IPA. Again, this is kind of like guessing based off to what the nose is giving me. How about we just drink it and find out? Cheers. That's exactly what it is. I like this. I like this actually a lot. Especially from a, what I assume, and Steven or anybody else in the Proclamation kind of universe, correct me if I'm wrong, for what is probably an attainable shelfie kind of beer, because we definitely get Proclamation stuff down by me. Not a ton. Leading into like year plus of the pandemic, because it seems like a lot of like local beer has kind of taken over the shelves, but pre-pandemic there was a ton of Proclamation kind of finding its way down here, which is super awesome. So that leads me to believe that their beers are kind of readily available to a certain extent. I don't know if some of the stuff is held back as far as brewing only stuff, but as far as this beer goes, it is definitely kind of pineapple leaning, but that definitely makes that nice kind of curve into that kind of tropical fruit. Sure, you get your citrus, sure, you get your stone fruit, but it is mostly pineapple / tropical fruit. There's a soft kind of like pseudo-lactosey thing going on in here that makes me think either a infinitely hefty dollop of lactose, or sorry, infinitely hefty dose of oats, if not like a little bit of like, don't tell them, I'm gonna put a little lactose in there kind of thing going on, because it has a softness to it. Everything about the sweetness in this beer, which it is that like little bit of sweetness, but not over the top. But the reason why it comes down that way is because it's not like gobs and gobs of over the top kind of like hard kind of sugary fruit, not like refined sugar fruit. It's more of like a kind of soft confectionery kind of sweetness. Nice mouthfeel. It's soft oaty. Again, we'll go back to the oats here. Kind of mouthfeel. It doesn't get in that super like water chemistry nerdy kind of thing. I like this. Every sip I take, I get a little bit more kind of like, you sure there's no lactose in here? Like almost like, let's just put a little bit in there, so they don't, so it gets the mouthfeel and that soft sweetness, but without being like crazy lactosey. Unfiltered and may contain sediment. Like I said, it looks like it was from 06/29. Today is 08/24. So you're talking about just less than 2 months. I like this. I think it's quite fun. I would say 90% of the stuff that I've had from Proclamation has been relatively low ABV. You're talking about stuff that is probably 7, if not quite a bit less, actually decently less, probably more towards like 5%, and I've dug their stuff quite a bit. I'm not saying I haven't had the bigger beers by them, but this is the first one I can really remember that is kind of tickling me a little bit pink, because it's drinking like 8 and change. It's impacting like 8 and change. It's giving me a big kind of double IPA without being overtly sweet, even though it kind of leans more heavily into that kind of confectionery kind of sweetness, and comes off as a really fun beer. I mean, leading with that pineapple, definitely heading heftily that kind of tropical fruit with just kind of the soft kind of oaty vanilla kind of lactosey kind of thing kind of floating around the edges that just brings this beer home into a infinitely new school New England style IPA with a little bit of chutzpah, which is definitely not a bad thing. So yeah, I dig this. I think it's fun. I think it's tasty. Is this one of the better double IPAs I've had as of late? Actually, yeah. Is it Mount Rushmore status? No. That disconnect between that lactosey kind of oaty thing and IPA itself, or the beer itself, I should say. There's a gap there that kind of keeps me from getting like all in on that kind of deliciousness. I think there's some breweries that kind of bridge that gap to do a little bit better, but this is definitely up towards the top. Value and availability on this thing, no idea, Steven. Did I say Steven? Give this to me? Yeah, I did. Let me know what you pay for this. Anybody in the Proclamation universe, and leave you with, if you like what you like this beer. If you like new school double IPA, you'll like this. I mean, that's it, brass tacks. But I think there's a little bit of kind of like you give this to some old school beer nerds, and they kind of give it a little bit smitten on this sucker, because I think it has the chops to be just a tasty beer regardless of its style. So, fun beer from a fun brewery doing fun things. That does not suck. So if you like those things, you will like this beer. There we go. Review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little Proclamation right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.